Welcome, Tate Brusa, to the Life Taco podcast. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good. And you have your friend with you?
Yeah.
You can introduce yourself?
My name's Trent White. I drum with Tate. We write a lot of stuff together, and he just wanted me to hop on with him. So
Nice.
It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
So yeah, you were on The Voice. That's kind of how I know you. We'll talk about that. But what do you have going on right now? Projects you're working on, concerts that you have coming up?
Yeah, so we're opening for a band downtown Salt Lake City next week, next Tuesday the 12th. It's the biggest venue we've played. It's like 800 people or so, and then we're flying to New York in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so. We're playing back-to-back nights in Lower Manhattan, so that should be fun. And then we're always working on music. Just we love it. So yeah.
Wow, yeah, you're from Salt Lake City. Do you have connections in New York or something? How's that?
No, man. So we actually saw one of our favorite bands, Laney. We saw them in New York 6 months ago, and we've always wanted to play there. It's just one of the best cities in the world. So we reached out to a couple venues there, and a couple got back to us, and then we're lucky enough to be able to play. So it should be fun.
Yeah. The Voice, when you got on there, like, how did you decide to do that? And then, like, tell us about the nerves and everything.
Yeah. So, geez, that was crazy. That was 2 years ago now, I think, pretty sure. So they reached out to me. I went to this private audition in Boise, Idaho. So they reached out to a bunch of different people and checked my email. They reached out to me. So went out to Boise, did a little private audition, and then they liked me. So I went back to LA for a week there's so many auditions leading up to the actual one you see on TV. So I did a bunch of those. And then next thing you know, I'm in LA for a week, sang a couple songs for them that they wanted me to sing, and then came back to Salt Lake and then waited for a couple months. Didn't really know what was going to happen. And then they flew me back out, and I stayed there for a month, filming everything, getting my blind audition ready. So what you saw on TV, I filmed in October of 2019. And then it aired like 4 or 5 months later in February of 2020. So right as COVID started happening. And then I just remember getting up on stage and being so nervous because there was like, we built up to it for like a month or so, like practicing every day, vocal lessons, stage rehearsals, all that. So I just remember being so nervous. I remember thinking, man, my friends at home, it's going to be so weird if I don't make it, if I get on, like if I'm on TV, but I don't get selected. I hyped it up so much and I worked so hard for it, but I got up on stage. I just blacked out. I remember I was so nervous. Like I remember very few things, but I just remember being so nervous. And I remember I didn't sing it as well as I could have, but I was lucky enough to get a chair turn by a couple coaches. And then I got to pick, and I picked Nick Jonas. And, I always loved the Jonas Brothers growing up. So it was an easy selection, but, it was fun.
Yeah, you said they reached out to you to
Yeah.
audition?
So
I didn't know that they did that.
Yeah, so they reach out to a lot of people they see on whether social media or they've heard their music. But so they reached out, and then let's see, like a month later, I went up to Boise and I told them what songs I was singing, and they liked it. So yeah, the casting crew, they were really great to work with. They were super cool, and I'm sure they reached out to a ton of people, but I had to follow them up on that opportunity,
Yeah, that would suck if like none of the chairs turned around.
Man, I still think about that, like where I'd be right now if I didn't get any chairs turned, and I'd still be making music, everything, but gave me a platform to keep going. I got to be on the show like 2 more rounds after that. So if I didn't get a chair turn, who knows? Maybe they aired it, maybe they wouldn't have, but I'm glad I got a chair turn and none of that was left up to.
Yeah.
So
I read that when you were 7, your parents gave you a guitar, and that's when you started writing music. Was that true?
Yeah. So I got a guitar when I was 7 at Christmas. I think my 2 sisters got one too. They didn't ever touch them, but I got them. I got a guitar, and I remember because I played the piano since I was 2. I climbed up on the piano and just started teaching myself some stuff. But I just remember getting the guitar and I automatically wanted to take lessons, but I was so bad at reading music. So I just tried to teach myself everything. And, with the strings, I didn't really know what I was doing, but, I started writing songs when I was around 10 or so. So I knew how to play the guitar somewhat well when I started writing, but, I say it was writing songs, but it was really just like putting words together. There was no really, it wasn't really writing songs. It was just
I was about to say, what kind of songs does a 10-year-old write?
No, I know it was weird. I was on GarageBand on my phone. I plugged in a cord that goes from there to like my guitar, like a little Apple headset with like a little thing, and I use that as a microphone. I remember sending it to this girl because I wrote it about her, and I want to hear it now. I can't find it, but I want to hear it because I'm sure it'd be hilarious. I don't even know what I was saying, but you know, I guess I just loved it so much, and then I took it seriously a couple years later, and then here we are.
Yeah. What made you choose "Perfect" for your audition song, Ed Sheeran?
I love Ed Sheeran. You know, he's a great songwriter. He can hold a stage just when he's up there, like just him and the guitar. So I've always loved that song as well. So I don't know. They gave me a couple options and I picked Perfect. So I just ended up with that.
Yeah. And like the big famous moment for you is when Nick Jonas kind of came up there with you, and like, what did that feel like? Him leaving the stage, like he was really going after you. He wanted to make sure.
I know. That's my dad calls it just like a made for TV moment. Like when it was happening, he says he just remembers me and like, wow, this is gonna be on TV and this is gonna be great. But all I can remember is just him leaving the chair, and it's a lot smaller than it looks on TV. TV, they make it look like a massive stage. They make it, I don't know, but I just remember him leaving, getting up out of the chair and coming up, and he started playing the guitar. He took my guitar, and I was like, I don't know, I don't ever want to play this again. You know, I didn't know. So he was playing it, and then he's like, sing it this way. So I went up, he helped me out a little bit. I don't know. It was crazy. I just remember him holding my guitar, being right across from me. But it's so cool being able to watch it back because like I can just see myself, and I just remember like I can just tell that I'm so nervous, but like at the same time I just like felt like so at home because he was just playing music with me, and he was so big, and I was just it was wild. What was it like watching it?
Watching it, I feel like I didn't know. I mean, as much as you could have told us, it was interesting to watch because the whole. Well, and then after he did that, the whole Blake Shelton with the puppy stuff is funny. But when he went up on the stage and, like you said, he took Tate's guitar and they just started playing together. Just as a viewer, it just like looked natural, I guess. I mean, it's just like just playing music.
It's natural.
You couldn't tell you were nervous, though. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think I could tell.
Maybe it's just because it's me and I can just see. But like, wow, it's crazy to watch back, and I'll never be able to relive it. But hopefully, something like that happens again with Nick.
It's kind of like watching a younger Nick Jonas and a present day Nick Jonas.
Right? Yeah. I saw a couple comments about that. I was like, hey, I hope that'd be great if I grow up to be like Nick Jonas one day. He's cool. And he's shorter than I expected too. Everyone says that. They're like, wow, I'm like, he's pretty short. Like I'm short too, but he's next to me. And I was like, wow, they make celebrities look way taller on TV, but hey.
Yeah, the venue, it does look big. You're saying Salt Lake City, the one you're in, is going to be the biggest one you played. Like, I was thinking, God, the Voice looks like it would be the biggest one you played, but I guess not.
No, you're right. The most people I played for was definitely the Voice because there was like, they had like an audience in the back, but like straight up concert, like
okay.
I've ever played, it's definitely the one that's coming up.
Yeah.
Like people in the audience and, coming for us.
Yeah. How did it boost your career? Like what things started changing for you?
Jeez, I remember if you're just looking at the numbers, like I remember right as it started, I had like 2,000 followers on Instagram. Now I got like around 30K. And I just remember the day my audition aired, like I remember turning my phone off because I hear stories about people, your phone's going to blow up. You're going to get so many texts. I remember opening my phone back up that night and seeing how many Instagram followers I had, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Like I thought it was so sick. I thought I made it. I said if nothing else happens, then I have a ton of Instagram followers. But things did end up happening. I started getting calls from, just people who wanted to work on music and people who wanted to have me out for shows because that's what I love doing. I love performing, so it kind of gave me a little platform to be able to like promote myself a little better because when you have 2,000 followers on Instagram, you're trying to play a show. They're like, okay, like. Sure, like maybe, but like now that I have like a little bit of a platform, I'm able to come at them with a little like, it's more of a serious like request if I'm trying to play shows. And, I've had like, it's cool to be able to like meet famous people like I did. And I don't know, it's definitely given me a platform. My streams went up as well. Like our own music that we release on Spotify and everything. Those numbers have gone up too. But hopefully it just keeps going up from here. And, hopefully one day we can look back and be like, wow, I remember when we thought 30,000 followers was a ton,
Right.
and playing for this many people was a lot. But when we're playing Madison Square Garden one day, it's going to be crazy thinking we're like blowing these numbers out of the water,
Yeah, did you guys play together before all of that too? Like you were already playing with him?
Yeah, so we were family friends growing up, and then he's always known how to drum. And then I remember one day we were just like, let's just try it. And then we wrote a song together, and that's the first song we ever released. I ever released. We wrote it, and then the next day we released it because we were so eager to get something out. And then I don't know. I always knew that he was super musically talented, that he can play the piano as well, play the piano better than me. He can drum.
Maybe.
He can sing. He won't say he can sing, but he can definitely sing.
It just worked. I mean, like you said, we were hanging out one day, and we were at his house, and he has it's a very musical family, so they have drum set and stuff in their basement, and so we just started playing around and playing some covers of some songs like from artists we both like and stuff. And then we just went into a thing of where we wanted to write something because he's very talented at like melodic and chord progressions, and it's all in his head, and that works a lot better than me. I'm very rhythmic, and so we bounced off each other with those ideas, and that usually is how it works. Because
so now I text him anytime
and we're both good at on each side of the music making, so it works out.
Yeah.
How does it feel that Snowflake the dog was sent back to the shelter because you chose Jonas?
Hey, I still get comments to this day. Anything I post, they're like, well, I'll get DMs or say, hey, hope you're doing good, but just know that you sent a dog back to the shelter. And I don't know. I don't know how real it was. I don't know if they actually went back to the shelter. I hope not, because I remember seeing the dog the next day. I remember seeing it on set. I was like, wow, it's alive. It's here. But who knows? Maybe it went to the shelter. I guess we'll never know, but I really hope it didn't. Some people took it really seriously. Some people thought that I actually sent a dog back to the shelter. I had to clarify that I don't think I did. I don't believe I did. I hope I didn't, because if that was the case, I definitely would have picked Blake if I actually knew. But
that's funny. The voice aside, what's your favorite moment of your career been good so far?
Ooh.
You did a 6-day set with the Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
I remember reading about that.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. There's a restaurant up in Park City, Utah, which is where they do the Sundance Film Festival, and I was lucky enough to play a couple days there during the festival. But I think my favorite moment was we had a show last year, the small venue in Salt Lake. It was on July 3rd, and we played a show, and that was like one of the first times we've been able to play a show since COVID was happening. And I remember like tweeting out and doing on Instagram being like, hey, like I can't wait to see everyone's face when COVID is done. And then I remember like 200 people showing up, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. They're singing singing all the words back, and they were jumping up and down, and the energy. So I think that was probably the coolest for me. What about you?
Probably the same. I mean, I just love playing for people more than like, I don't know. I like performing. I don't really get anxiety from it. And so exactly what he said, we hadn't played for people in a long time, or really ever at that point as a band or a duo. And we had a third kid with us, a kid I grew up with as well. And he's really good at the bass. And so we had a trio there, and it just was so full. And it was a pretty good staple in first real show.
Back, yeah.
Yeah. It sounded really good. The place was full, and
it was awesome.
Like you said, people yelling back the lyrics that he's written. It's a cool feeling for sure.
We've written.
Yeah. It's a cool feeling for sure.
It was crazy.
It's pretty surreal sometimes.
Yeah. How did COVID affect you guys? Because that would be like right around when you were taking off from The Voice and everything.
Yeah. Could not have been worse timing. If I'm being honest with you, I aired February 24th, I believe, and then everything got shut down like the end of March. And then I just remember like wanting to play shows so badly. I had so much momentum, whether it was in Utah, like Los Angeles, just around the nation. I remember having people reach out to me like, hey, like we want you to come out for a show, like booking agents. getting on calls with them, just so excited to do some stuff. And then all of a sudden it just all got shut down, vetoed really quickly. And that was a big hit to not just me, but like every musician. Like people actually go on tours and like, because like the thing about music is like you got to be around other people to like be able to like thrive off their energy and everything. But like when you can't be around anyone, can't play shows, can't write music, it's just hard. So everything was put to a halt. And then, yeah, it was just terrible because I couldn't even watch The Voice being aired with my family because like my extended family, they were out of state and they couldn't come because it was like the middle of March or middle of April being aired. And it was unfortunate. But I mean, I think we've done our best as much as someone can do in our position, you know, because we got pretty unlucky, but I think we recovered pretty nicely.
Yeah. Good thing is everybody else was froze too, so it's not like they're moving up and you're just kind of
wasn't just us.
Yeah, and that presents opportunities too, with like social media and stuff. Like, because nobody's doing anything, they're gonna be watching your stuff then, you know.
Yeah, TikTok blew up during that time. I remember everyone just posting TikToks, and I posted a TikTok about me and being on The Voice. It got a good amount of views, and it's great. But for me, the biggest thing is like being able to see those numbers translate to like real people in front of me, like playing shows, and that just wasn't able to happen until a couple months later. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. So I was looking through your Twitter. I always research my people before I talk to them. So some tweets. What is you tweeted peaches and milk? What's that about?
Yeah.
You like that as a combo? Like, what is that?
Oh, there's this girl I know who she told me about peaches and milk, and then I went and tried it, and it was pretty good. Have you ever tried it? No,
I don't really like peaches.
Terrible. It sounds terrible.
It does sound pretty gross.
Sounds terrible, but I remember trying it, and it was actually pretty decent. But I kind of tweet some random things, but I'm sure you've read some more, so I'm sure you have some more questions.
Yeah, peaches. I'm from the Peach State, Georgia, so you'd think I would like it, but
Really?
Hey, I thought it was just as crazy as you, but it was pretty decent. It was decent.
New Year, same crush.
Yeah.
Who's your crush?
Yeah, it was the same girl. New Year, same crush. I thought that was pretty clever, but I'm sure.
Who is the crush?
I'm sure it wasn't. Who was it?
Yeah, who is it?
Oh, that's crazy. I can't say her name, but I remember thinking that was pretty clever. But now that I look back on them, some of them are just weird. But
she's not your girlfriend though. She's just a crush.
No, just a crush.
No. Let's see. In 2020 on Spotify, you had 700,000 streams, 35 hours, 190K listeners in 90 countries. Mm-hmm. But in 2021, you had 1.5 million subscribers, 100.3 thousand hours. Golly, that's a lot of big change. 534.7 thousand listeners in 157 countries. That's crazy.
Dude, I always remembered before I started making music, Spotify had this thing called Spotify Wrapped, where like they'd give a little summary of how the year went for the artist. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. So one of the first years we made music, it was super low. I remember we had like 10,000 streams. And then I thought the jump from that year to the first year that you just read was the craziest thing in the world. And then we wrote a song. It got on a couple big Spotify playlists. We were lucky enough for that it blew up. We'd say for us, it got a couple million streams. And then I remember getting that Wrapped like the first day of December. And I remember reading it out. I was mind blown. I remember sending it to Trent being like, if nothing else happens, we basically doubled what we were.
Right.
And
I think that's when we, like you said, when you couldn't play in front of people, it doesn't feel like things are growing and getting bigger. But that might have been the first time when, I mean, we had played a few shows since before December, but it was right as we were starting to get back into stuff. And so it really did show that the COVID gap wasn't that detrimental. I mean, it put like a pause on stuff, but I feel like at first it definitely felt like it was almost career ending. But that was nice to hear. And I haven't heard the comparison like that since you just said. That is pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty reassuring. Like it makes hearing stuff like that just makes me want to keep going. You know.
Yeah.
Like next year I want to even double again and again. You know.
like 35 hours to 100.3. That's crazy.
That's wild, actually. It's crazy hearing it.
So yeah, you've been writing songs forever now. What's your writing process like? How do you like? I wouldn't even know where to begin writing a song.
Jeez. Sometimes neither do I. Like, it comes in phases. Like, if I'm being honest, there will be like a 3-month stretch where I don't write a single song, and I'll just work on stuff that like I already had written or stuff like that. But like, if I'm trying to sit down and write a song, usually I'll just be in my room with a guitar, and I don't know, there's a bunch of discussion where it's like, do you focus on the words first or do you focus on the music? And I wish I could say there was a certain way that I did it, or I do it, but there's like it all happens differently. Like sometimes I'll be with him and we'll just be playing some on the piano and then we'll have a melody and then we go off that. Or sometimes I'll have like a line written in my phone, like everyone says that. Like they think about it and then they use it as a lyric. But every song is different. Like every song we have out came like in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not one set in stone way that we write a song. But typically I'll just be sitting down in front of my computer playing something, then a little spark of inspiration, and I just go off that. But it's different.
Yeah, and it's funny, like looking at your YouTube, the songs that you play on there. I like your original music better than the covers that you make, and that's very unusual for me.
Yeah.
I usually like covers better.
Thank you. No, that means a lot because the songs we write mean a ton to us. So
Yeah,
we love playing other people's songs, but being able to play our own is just, it's definitely pretty rewarding.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the lyrics or that you feel the song more or something, but I like the originals better.
Thank you. I'd hope that most people would say that. I'm glad.
Who are some of your favorite artists and songs right now?
Ooh, artists, definitely Laney. There's a band called Laney. They're from LA. We've been to a couple of their shows and they're super inspiring for me. John Mayer, love John Mayer. I know you like the Foo Fighters.
I do. I grew up playing a lot more like rock drumming and music. That's where my inspiration for rhythm and stuff came from. So a little more on the rock alternative side as opposed to him on the it's like more pop alternative.
What's your favorite song right now?
Oh, I don't know. I have been listening to a lot of John Mayer since he was just in Salt Lake for a show. And so that was really fun. And it's just been a lot of his stuff. But I think that helps us write a lot because we have different insights on different genres of music that we're both super passionate about. And we definitely share the same, this kind of music, we definitely share the same passion for. So
what's your favorite song?
I'm not sure. Like I'm weird because like I like stuff now that I didn't like. I mean, like different stuff every single week. It feels like. So I've been listening to some of your stuff since we were gonna talk.
Love it.
Yeah, and I did catch one of the Laney songs that you covered on your YouTube. It's something about something Jesus. Didn't it?
Still Talk to Jesus.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I caught that cover. And I've listened to Alex Ayano, something like that lately. I've caught a lot of his stuff on YouTube. There's a few other people. I started listening to Preston C. Howell again because we actually just recorded a little bit ago. He's the voice also, so
yeah, love it.
I don't know if you know who he is, but
no, definitely sounds familiar. I recognize that for sure.
Yeah, but yeah. So, who has influenced you musically?
Definitely Laney, the band I just said. Paul Klein, their lead singer. I used to borderline worship him. Something about him, the way he writes, his whole aesthetic, everything is just, I love it. And I don't know, I something with his songs just resonate with me. And I try to like capture that same, it's just not as good yet, but something about his songs.
Perspective, I think, because
I mean,
when you idolize someone, you don't feel like you're going to hit that level. So, but it's definitely, I would say what I hear from Tate's music would be Paul Klein, Laney, and the production value of it. But I think his voice, he sings kind of a lot like how John Mayer does, maybe a little bit. He's a little bit of the raspiness. So
I've heard Justin Bieber as well before. I'm not going to high myself up that much. I mean, I cannot sing as well as Justin Bieber, but maybe a couple of years ago I sounded like a younger Justin Bieber. is what I've heard, but I'll take it. I'll take it and run. I mean, thank you, but
Yeah, I can hear those John Mayer, Justin Bieber type things. Yeah. Let's see. Just get to know you type questions. Favorite car, dream car.
Oh, that's a tough question. You go first.
Probably 2017 Land Rover LR4. I know a couple kids who've driven it, and I don't know. It's like super boxy. It's not crazy nice, but if I get to drive one of those one day, I'll be pretty happy. What about you?
I really like Audi. Just came out with the RS6 in the United States for the first time in 20 years, and that car's perfect because it's really fast and it's powerful and it's cool and it looks good, but it's also practical. I mean, I could picture myself using it for stuff. It has a hatchback, and it's not a car that you'd be worried to scratch up the paint and stuff. But so that's probably it in a realistic sense, I think.
He's big into cars. I'm more of I'll just drive whatever, but I'm sure when I have money and have the option to buy some cars, I definitely will,
Right.
But not yet.
Favorite movie?
These are tough. I'm gonna think about it. I'm a big Christopher Nolan guy. I like Interstellar and that kind of stuff.
Interstellar. That's the best movie of all time.
Yeah, that's probably me.
Interstellar has to be.
That's
Love it.
I like Lucky Number 11. It has Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman.
That is a great one.
Lucy Liu. You've seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
That is. I forget about that movie actually. I've only seen it, I think, one time, but I remember I really, really enjoyed it. But that was when I was on a movie binge and I watched all these things all week. And
well, when you think gangster movies, you kind of think of classic ones. You don't really think of newer ones like that.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
Probably The Office.
I'm a big Office guy too. I like I like a little more cartoon stuff like Rick and Morty, I guess, but that's just comedic stuff. But like a drama, Peaky Blinders on Netflix. That's a great movie. That's a great show.
Yeah.
I've been rewatching that, and it's easy to watch and it's captivating.
Grey's Anatomy, I love too. That's a good one, but
yeah.
My sister would be happy if I said that. So
Arrested Development.
Oh, I haven't
I
watched it all the way through, but
I watched an episode with my mother.
It was nice.
Not the Netflix ones, the original 3
Oh,
seasons.
the original ones.
Yeah, the Netflix kind of screwed it up a little bit.
Interesting. I'll have to watch
the
original then.
Really bad.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the original.
Yeah, the original is 10,000 times better.
I bet. That's usually how it is.
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Blue.
I'm a green guy. I like green.
Green.
Green. What about you?
Green.
Yeah.
Green. There you go.
Like
yeah. It's everywhere and it's pretty, trees and grass and.
Nice. Animal.
I don't know.
Owls. I love owls. I would never want to actually encounter one in person. From afar.
We have a few owls that live in our backyards, and sometimes they're just you don't know they're there, and that's why they're cool. I think they're super stealthy and stuff. I do like birds, so like raptors and owls and stuff.
Probably like a lion. I think lions are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sport.
To watch or to play?
Both.
To play golf. I'm a big golfer, and me and my dad watch a ton of golf, but probably basketball to watch, football.
Yeah, I've been on a big basketball thing for the past 4 or 5 years. Just love watching it. All the teams, college, NBA and stuff. But to play, it's probably golf as well. I like golf.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
Even if you're not good, it's
I'm very bad. He's really good. I'm really bad.
I'm not.
But it's fun to play.
I can play top golf. That
Top golf's fun. Yeah,
top golf's fun for everyone.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Favorite athlete.
Ooh,
great question.
Oh, I guess I misspoke. I am also a really, really big F1 fan, and it's a sport for sure. If you want to classify them as athletes, I think so. But Charles Leclerc is a Ferrari driver in F1, and he's probably my favorite athlete. He's just a good guy, and he's young, and it's pretty fun to watch.
It's got to be Tiger Woods. He's just sick.
I felt like you were gonna say that. I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty.
What about you? What's your favorite? Who's your favorite athlete?
Probably Rafael Nadal. He does tennis, but like,
That was my second pick.
really,
I love that. He's so sick. I love that pick.
yeah. Favorite. This one's kind of a random one, but people always have funny answers. Halloween costume.
Oh. I was Michael Jackson when I was 6 or 7 with a wig and the red leather jacket and tight pants. I thought it was pretty cool.
One time when I think I was in 6th grade, me and my mom got all this PVC pipe and made like a fake fish bowl. And so it like had a harness and it sat on me, and then it was filled with, it was just really out there. But that's like the most memorable, I think. I was like a fish in a fish bowl, and it walked around with me and stuff. It was pretty funny.
Sick.
One year I was a clown, and then so the next year I tried to be a mime, just to opposites things.
Yeah, the
And
mime.
people were like, "Oh, you can't talk like all night." So I was like, "This fucking sucks."
Yeah, yeah, I bet. Yeah, that's funny.
Let's see, places that you've traveled to.
It's got to be Kenya, Africa.
We've been to Kenya together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We went there with our church trip once on a humanitarian thing, and that was a lot of fun. That's also, I guess, another way we connected.
Yeah.
When we didn't have a lot of stuff to do at night because you're in Kenya and it's rural and you don't have like your phones and stuff. So we would play a lot of music because we would play the music for like
People who sell in like the schools and stuff.
yeah. So we go around to the schools and it'd be like big gatherings and we'd play the music. I'd be on a box drum, which is really fun, and he'd have his guitar. So we just had a lot of time to play music. And so
Yeah.
that's actually I forgot about that, but that's also kind of how we started to play together and write together. We had all this time, and we'd stay up all night and write stuff and mess around with concepts and stuff.
Where's your favorite place?
Probably Kenya as well. Yeah.
Is that the only time you've been out of the country?
I don't believe so.
I've been to Mexico before. That was pretty fun. Went to Cancun on a vacation with my family, and so that was nice.
Yeah, I went to Haiti and a mission trip thing too.
I have been to Haiti as well, actually, on a mission trip.
Oh wow. That's
Where
cool.
where in Haiti did you go?
I forget. If somebody said the place, then I would know, but I can't.
Yeah.
Like off the top of my head. It's like there's like 3 different orphanages that we went to.
Oh,
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
But places that you want to go, bucket list places.
London.
London. We've been talking about that. They have a cool like underground music scene, and so if we could ever play like shows in small clubs there, that'd be a lot of fun. And then yeah, probably London. Just Europe. Europe would be fun. I've never been to Europe, so
Cool. Something that you've learned in the last year.
it takes time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say probably patience.
Patience. It takes time. And back to what you said about the comparing the 2 years with the playtime and hours, like that's just a time thing. And even if you're not performing in shows, it doesn't mean stuff's not happening. So
Yeah.
just patience, I think.
Yeah. What are your short-term and long-term goals?
Ooh.
They got an eyebrow raise.
There's a lot of things.
Short term is probably just try to make the best music I can, like in the situation we're given, because I'm in Salt Lake.
I go to school in a town
goes to
about
school,
an hour
yeah.
away.
So we do as much as we can, but I think just try to write the best songs I can right now, and just be as honest in the music and try to promote myself the best I can. But long-term goals,
I think to get
tour the world,
right.
doing music, play Madison Square Garden. I just love playing music, so probably it's that, right?
Yeah, on the short-term side, going on a local tour, like a West Coast tour with a band who we
Opening up for someone,
yeah,
that'd
opening
be
for a
pretty
band
cool.
for like 20 shows. I don't think that's that unrealistic to think we could do in the next year.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, the main short-term goal.
Yeah. So you have a YouTube channel, 7.71 thousand subscribers. That's pretty good. A lot of original music on there. I'll put the link in the bio to that. I liked Cowboy in LA and Not Me You're Thinking About. Like, you have some really good ones on there. Huh?
That's my favorite song that we have.
That's probably my favorite one to play live.
Yeah.
And that was the one we got lucky enough that got on a couple Spotify playlists as well. So yeah, probably one of my favorites.
When you play in New York sometime, the last time you put that you were there, I was like, I want to go. I'm going to go one day. I'm going to go to
Definitely.
But yeah, I'm gonna put the link to the bio in that, and then also you have your TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. They're all Tate Brusa.
Yep.
Cool.
What kind of stuff do you post on those? Just for people that don't know you.
Instagram, I basically just post updates and stuff, stuff we're doing, whether it's shows or music. And then Twitter I used to use, but I don't use it as much. I kind of just tweet random stuff as you read. And then TikTok, I don't really post any dancing videos really. It's kind of just it's just random stuff. I don't really know. Just me doing music or me walking around. I don't really know. Wouldn't you say?
It's still in touch with like a personal life thing too. So even though he has a lot of followers on Instagram, it still posts like dance stuff. He's still in school. He's still young. So
yeah.
So last thing, I always give people a chance to message for their supporters. Something you'd like to tell them before we go?
Yeah, I don't talk about it a ton, but my supporters are crazy. Like, I love it. There were a ton of fan accounts after I was on The Voice. So supportive. Like, one time I had a show in Salt Lake, and one of his fans from New York, she flew out for her birthday and she came to Salt Lake for the show, and that was mind blowing. That was kind of like a full circle moment for me, because like people are traveling to see me. Like, I used to do that to see other artists, and like the fact that I can have that like impact on someone, and like they can like my music enough that much, it's like I just love it. So they're super supportive. They've always been. What do you think?
Just thank you. And like we said, like the live aspect is really what it's all for. So playing music, and when people come out and pay to see us and stuff like that, it's really gratifying.
We always try to like take time after and take some pictures with them, just because like they went out of their way to come to one of our shows. And you know how it is. We wouldn't be anything if there weren't people listening. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'd be playing for our families, and we love doing that.
Yeah,
and we love doing that.
Thanks our families, supportive families as well. So it's just it's just been easy is the wrong word, but it's been comfortable, because a lot of people. It's nice when people want to see you, and it's just very thankful for that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on, making the time to come on. Really cool to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad we could figure out a time, because we've been wanting to do this for a minute.
Yeah.
Awesome.